Can you imagine being an adult, but being surrounded by words you just can't understand? Well, today we're diving into an incredible and really personal story about reclaiming literacy. And it's a journey that kind of shows us that the best classrooms aren't always what we expect.
Wow. I mean, that one sentence says it all, doesn't it? It just captures the huge emotional weight our author was carrying. Think about walking into a classroom as a grown-up, not with excitement, but with this deep shame and fear of being judged. That's the really vulnerable place where this whole story starts.
So, the journey kicks off on the very first day at an adult learning center. And let me tell you, this was not an easy first step. The source material paints a picture of a really daunting beginning, an intimidating room full of strangers, and all these unspoken challenges.
And right away, you see a huge difference. On one side, you've got our author, who has this deep personal fire to learn. But on the other side, a lot of their peers were just there to check a box for work. And this distinction is so important because it shows you the kind of extraordinary commitment it was going to take to succeed here. And that commitment was definitely tested. This number 2, it stands for 2 full years. We're talking 2 years of what the author calls many sleepless nights, just struggling and pushing forward. This wasn't a quick fix at all. It was a grueling marathon. So, after 2 years of this really intense formal struggle, you have to ask, right? What finally broke through? What was the turning point that made everything start to click? And the answer is really what makes this story so amazing. The key that finally unlocked the written word wasn't hiding in a textbook or some formal lesson. Nope. It was found somewhere totally different. The real progress started in a completely different environment. After confiding in a woman from a study group, they weren't met with any judgment. Instead, they were handed a new tool, a book with simple rhyming words that gave them a brand new way to learn. And this is that first moment of triumph. This simple rhyming line from a song became the very first sentence the author could read and write all by themselves. Just think about that for a second. That's the key turning in the lock, the moment the code is finally cracked. But that wasn't the only unconventional classroom. The next bit of help was maybe even more surprising, and it came from a couple of very, very young teachers. Let's just call them the toddler tutors. The method was so simple but so effective. It all started by reading stories aloud to their uncle's twin toddlers. That led to instant, unfiltered corrections on how to say the words. And then they went back to basics, singing alphabet songs together, which really helped with spelling. And the reason this worked so well is pretty simple, right? Kids are just honest. There's no polite filter, no worrying about feelings, and best of all, absolutely no judgment. They just hear a word said wrong and they fix it. It created this perfectly safe space to mess up and get better, instantly. So as we start to put all these pieces together, you can see that success didn't come from some magic trick. It wasn't one single thing. It was actually a unique 4-part formula. And this right here is the central lesson of this whole story. Success didn't happen because of one method. It happened because of a system, a really powerful combination of different kinds of support, all working together for the same goal. So let's break that system down into its 4 pillars. First, you had the committed teachers who built that formal foundation. Second, the Bible study that provided the first big breakthrough. Third, that judgment-free zone practicing with kids, which built up confidence. And finally, and we haven't touched on this yet, the accountability from 3 friends who are on the same GED journey, giving that crucial peer support. Okay, so where did this whole unique system of support lead? What was the final result after this long and pretty unconventional journey? And just as a quick refresher for all of us, the GED, or General Educational Development Credential, basically certifies that someone has high school level academic skills. So this was the finish line. This was the goal. And the result of that 2-year marathon, fueled by both traditional classrooms and some very untraditional ones, was exactly that, a hard-earned GED. The goal was achieved against some incredible odds, and it just proves that the path to learning is definitely not one size fits all. And that kind of brings us to our final thought here. This journey is such a powerful reminder that a classroom isn't just 4 walls and a chalkboard. It can be a living room, a nursery, it can be anywhere. So it makes you wonder, for whatever you're trying to learn or overcome, where could your most unexpected classroom be?